The name alone is a warning. Death Valley, a landscape of superlatives, the lowest point in North America, the hottest, the driest. It is a place that promises extreme, where every shadow holds a new mystery and the silence can be deafening. But on a sweltering July day in 1996, it became the final resting place for a family of 4 German tourists. Swallowed whole by the desert, their disappearance baffled investigators and fueled internet forums for over a decade. This is not just a story of a wrong turn, it is a tale of tragic miscalculation, a meticulous search, and a chilling revelation that proved the desert always holds the final word. This is the case of the Death Valley Journals. Egbert Rimkus and his family, Cornelia Meyer, prepared for a dream vacation with their children, George, Egbert's son from his first marriage, and Max Cornelia, 4 years old son. Their trip to the American Southwest was the ultimate summer adventure. After flying from Germany into Los Angeles on July 8, 1996, they rented a green Plymouth Voyager minivan, a quintessential American family vehicle. They spent time in Southern California and enjoyed a brief stint in Las Vegas, a city of dazzling excess that stands in stark contrast to their next destination. It was in Las Vegas at the Treasure Island Hotel that they began to show signs of financial strain. Egbert called his bank in Germany to wire $1,500 and later faxed his ex-wife George's mother for additional funds that they were never sent. Their journey and their finances were already on a razor's edge. On July 22nd, the family entered Death Valley with funds low and time running short. They abandoned their original plan to drive all the way around the park to reach Yosemite. Egberts made a decision born of pressure and ignorance of the terrain. He would take a shortcut on the July 23rd. The family was at the Warm Spring camp, where Cornelia signed the visitor's log, noting their intention to go over the pass. This was almost certainly Mengal Pass, a rugged, high-elevation track impossible for a family minivan. Their guidebooks and maps, though helpful for main roads, offered no real warnings of the dangers of this path. Instead of turning back, they continued. The road disintegrated into a sandy, rocky wash. The minivan with its two-wheel drive and standard tires was no match. The desert ripped through 3 of their tires. They were stranded alone in one of the most hostile places on earth. In October 1996, after the family failed to return home, their rental company reported the minivan stolen. A park ranger helicopter finally spotted it, tucked away in a remote wash in Anvil Spring Canyon. What they found was a vehicle packed with gear that could have saved them, but lay untouched. There was also a chilling clue outside the van, a beer bottle propped up against a bush, with a clear imprint in the sand where someone had sat in the meager shade. This suggested that someone had left the vehicle and was attempting to scout the area. But where had they gone? The most critical clue was the American flag from the geologist's cabin, a well-stocked shelter with food and water. The family had been there and had left with the flag. But instead of returning to that known source of life, they walked into the wrong direction, deeper into the desolate wilderness. For 13 years, the case went cold, theories ran wild, from them starting a new life to being victims of the desert cult. But for one dedicated amateur sleuth, Tom Mahood, the mystery became an obsession. Mahood, a member of the Riverside Mountain Rescue Unit, used his expertise to re-examine the original facts, combining mapping, satellite imagery, and on-the-ground experience to form a revolutionary theory. His theory hinged on 2 key details. First, the family was low on cash. Second, they were from Germany, where military bases are often well-patrolled, secure perimeters. Mahood theorized they were walking toward the perimeter of the China Lake Naval Air Weapons Station, an active military base several miles south of their position. They believed that they would find help, not realizing that in the vast open desert of the American Southwest, a military base perimeter is just another unmarked fence line with no patrol or nearby rescue. In November 2009, Mahood's hunch led him with his hiker partner Les Walker on a grueling expedition. They followed the most logical path a desperate, dehydrated person would take, and after just 2 days, they found what official searchers had missed for over a decade. They found the remains of Egbert and Cornelia. Identification was a painstaking process due to the extreme dissonation of the bones, but in June 2010, the male remains were conclusively identified as Egbert Rimkus. The female remains are presumed to be Cornelia's. The final scene of their family vacation was one of the pure tragedy. They likely succumbed to hyperthermia and dehydration within a few days of leaving the van. A torturous end brought on by a few seemingly minor but cumulatively catastrophic and miscalculations. The story of the Death Valley, Germany is a powerful cautionary tale. It is a reminder that the desert is not a theme park. It is a hostile, unforgiving environment that requires respect, preparation, and knowledge. Egbert and Cornelia with their children were not prepared. They had water but not enough. They had shelter nearby but their desperation drove them past it. They relied on a flawed understanding of a foreign landscape, a gamble that ended in their quite lonely demise. Their memory serves as a soulman lesson to all who visit places of untamed beauty. Listen to the warnings, respect the power of nature, and remember that the most dangerous thing in the world is not a predator or a canyon, but a small desperate miscalculation. The desert keeps its secrets well, but sometimes with enough determination it is forced to give them back. Today thousands visit Death Valley, drawn by its surreal beauty and haunting silence. But the desert remembers, and somewhere under the shifting sands, the story of the missing boys lingers waiting for the wind to tell it. So when you walk into the Death Valley, remember Egbert, Cornelia, George, and Max. In this desert, beauty and death walk side by side. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, do like, share and subscribe for more real mysteries. And never forget, the harshest landscapes often hold the deepest secrets. Thank you.